Hello and welcome to Swami Engineering Academy. Today we are going to learn about the adiabatic humidification process. So, to understand this adiabatic humidification, let us take one example of this. Let us take one tube. To this, you will having this air passing. It comes out with the other end. Let us take some amount of water is there inside this, and while passing through this, it will absorb the absorb the water particles. That is, these water particles get evaporated and it is absorbed by the air. Now, in this case, to learn about the adiabatic humidification, what we are doing is, let us take the incoming temperature of this air is say TD1 and its outgoing temperature is say TD2. Now, this is the water. I have taken that water at a temperature of TW1. What is the TW1? That is the wet bulb temperature of incoming air. So, here you have to learn, you have to understand the concept is, let's say the temperature of incoming air is say, let us say 40 degree, and this is the dry bulb temperature TD, and let us say its wet bulb temperature is say 30 degree, and its dew point temperature, that is dew point temperature is say 20 degree. Okay, so the incoming air has temperature 40 degree, wet bulb temperature 30 degree, and dew point temperature is 20 degree. Now I have to take the water with the temperature equal to the wet bulb temperature of incoming air. That is nothing but less than the dry bulb temperature of incoming air and greater than the dew point temperature. Why the temperature should be greater than the dew point temperature? You know that when the temperature of any cooling medium is less than the dew point temperature of incoming air, then dehumidification process takes place. Now here I want to have humidification process. So I must have the temperature of this water greater than the dew point temperature of incoming air. Now if I take, let us say the dew point temperature is say 30 degree. Here the wet bulb temperature is 30 degree. This 40 degree air coming inside. Now what will happen? It will evaporate, and what will happen? Some amount of water particles get inserted into the, or gets absorbed into the air. Now this air gets cooled down. Now it's cooled, let us say it is up to the say 35, then it will come here and it will cool up to say again 32. At the end it will cool up to the 30. Now if you see, at the end of this process, the temperature of the air is equal to the wet bulb temperature of this air. So dry bulb temperature is equal to the wet bulb temperature of this air. Now if you see, when dry bulb temperature is equal to wet bulb temperature, dry bulb temperature is equal to wet bulb temperature, that means, you see, it is at saturation only. That means the air will be saturated at that point. That means when the air will come from here to here, it is absorbing the water particles. That means water particles get taken by this air, and again it is cool, and again at the end of this process the temperature comes to the equal to wet bulb temperature. That means it will be a saturated one. So if I draw the psychrometric chart, and the process on the psychrometric chart, let us say this is point number 1. Then if I say this is what earlier dew point temperature of this, so this is TD1, TD dew point P1. Okay, so now I am cooling. Now here you are getting the temperature will come down to this will say is a wet bulb temperature. This is the wet bulb temperature line. This is again a dry bulb temperature. This dry bulb temperature and this wet bulb temperature will be equal at the saturation, and this is nothing but the point number 2. So this is nothing but 1 to 2 is the process. Now if you see this process carefully, this process is nothing but is parallel to the line of wet bulb temperature. This line again is the wet bulb temperature of that, or wet bulb temperature line of that particular air. Now same line if you extend, this is nothing but, you can say, is nothing but the enthalpy. So if you see, the enthalpy of point 2 is equal to enthalpy of point 1. That means the enthalpy is not going to change. That means if you see at constant pressure, that enthalpy represents the heat. So that means what? The heat is not going to change from 1 to 2. That means what? It is an adiabatic process. So it is nothing but the adiabatic process. Now if you see here, this is W1 and this is W2. W2 is greater than W1. That means humidification has been done here. Again, if you see here, temperature TD1 and this is temperature TD2. TD2 is less than temperature TD1. This is the cooling process. You can say it is the cooling and humidification, or it is adiabatic humidification process. So this is what about adiabatic humidification process. But in actual practice, it will not be like this. That means this point will not be at the saturation. That means it will not achieve exact this temperature. So it will achieve somewhere here. The point 2 will be somewhere here. So here let us say we'll say a point number 3, or you can take a 2 dash here. So the actual process will be 1 to 2. That means theoretically it will be 1 to 3, but actually it's 1 to 2. So efficiency of humidification in this process can be taken as actual upon theoretical. So what you can do is here that TD2 minus TD1 upon, sorry, TD1 minus TD2 you can take because TD1 is greater. So upon TD1 minus TD3 is the theoretical one. So this is nothing but the efficiency of humidification. Again you can express in terms of this one. You can take this as W3 and W2. So you can take this as W2 minus W1 upon, you can say W3 minus W1. This is what you can say the efficiency of humidification. So this is what about the adiabatic humidification. So guys, if you like this video, please subscribe my channel and share this video. Thanks a lot for watching.